Hello, dear Capricorn. How are you? Welcome. I hope you're doing very, very well. Capri, let's see how your energies are going to be at this moment so you can use them to your advantage and see a situation from a new point of view. This reading is general. Take what resonates with you. If not, disregard the message. And it applies to all those who have their sun, ascendant, moon, or Venus in the sign of Capricorn. Capri, if you need a personal reading with me, then you can write to the email shown on the screen and I will send you all the information you need. You can call the listed phone lines to get in touch with my team of tarot readers who will be answering all your questions 24 hours a day. If you are invited to be part of this channel, you can join as channel members and get great benefits like early access to videos and horoscopes, unique badges, polls, and also the chance to participate in raffles for personal readings. All right, let's channel a message for the sign of Capricorn. We have the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, Justice, and the Queen of Swords. Wow, what cards, right? What energies? There's a lot of power. Notice there's a lot of feminine energy. There's authority, there's presence, right? And this tells us a lot about decisions you're making, especially it could be decisions in your work or finances, right? This is like being in the place I deserve, being what I'm worth. Starting to take control of certain situations as well, taking control of your life, starting to regain your personal power, your energy, your magnetism, right? This is pure presence, Capricorn. So I feel that this energy is bringing a new stability to your life, right? I feel like there's a Capricorn here with a stronger character, more determined, like someone who knows what they want. If they have something to say, they'll go and say it, they'll communicate it. A Capricorn who demands respect, who demands loyalty, who demands care, but always from a place of justice, from a place of balance. Here it's not about demanding just for the sake of it or complaining. Who? But I feel that what you're actually demanding comes from a fair place. It comes from a place of balance, pure balance, and reciprocity. Okay? So I feel a very strong energy when it comes to connection to your personal power, to your sense of worthiness, to your magnetism, to expressing yourself freely, to not holding things back. I'm not going to say this because I might make someone uncomfortable, but I will look for the right words to express it, right? Because I'm speaking from a place of wisdom. I'm speaking from a place of power, of authority. I feel that experience has also led you to certain truths and also to a certain way of communicating with the other person, right? The main topics that are being discussed here, well, this can also be developed not only, for example, in a relationship, in your love life, but it can also be reflected in the workplace, right? Like, for example, asking for better pay or, or honestly, I feel that I deserve a raise, or I feel that the work I'm doing is really for. So it's not about settling for less here, but about going for what you really deserve, right? Going for what you're really worth, for what your energy is worth. Okay? It's like, this is what I feel I need, and this is what I'm worth. Because I feel very confident, very sure of myself and the position I hold. Notice that these queens know the place they hold. They know what they deserve. They have the wisdom to express themselves. Okay, they know how to use words, they know how to handle the material world, they know how to manage their energy and their magnetism. And it's like it's time to tip the scales in your favor, right? That's why we're talking here about making things, right? For what you consider to be balanced for your life. Let's see where this reading goes. Dear Capricorn, overall, available energy. You have here the Knight of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, the Ten of Cups, the King of Pentacles, such beautiful cards, Capri, because it tells us about, I see good news on the financial and work front, right? We have talked about a topic, about a complaint, about a demand, maybe at your job, talking to a superior, a boss, a leader, or being given a really important position. This could also be possible. No, there are going to be some changes happening at work, right? This is like your demands are starting to be recognized, the improvements in the work environment, right? So, are you guys going to be kind of starting out, maybe a new stage at work, um, with better pay, with a raise, with a new position or a new role, which of course we see has a different kind of responsibility, maybe a different kind of category, right? Like something much higher, right? But it's something I feel you really wanted. Look at how important it's been to stand up for what's fair in your life because it's brought results, right? And that thing you longed for so much, that thing you dreamed about, that you were visualizing in your work environment, right? It's manifesting, it's becoming a reality, right? Maybe it has been hard, it's been hard to assert yourself, to show confidence, but you've done it. So, there's good news regarding your work. uh, I also see other kinds of responsibilities that are going to come up, right? There will also be another kind of caution regarding your money, your finances, and the ways you create stability for yourself. Light is coming into this area, and I feel like it's also opening up a kind of window to the future for you, right? A job that's closely tied to already knowing how to approach my project. I feel like this promotion looks very promising, especially for the times ahead, right? How how do you start building a new stability, a new sense of value, and a new sense of deserving? Okay, okay, let's see what else we have, dear Capricorn. General energy available. Here you have the Five of Cups, we have the Five of Pentacles, and we have the Eight of Cups, Eight of Swords. Pay attention. Well, this is a bit of an explanation of what we were talking about before, right? Because we've talked, right, about this topic, about power, about or knowing where you stand, knowing how much you're worth. But you know that in order to know how much you're worth, to be able to embody this energy of self-confidence. Yes, it's true that we go through situations of insecurity. We don't know the value of something or our own value. Even in the moments when you lose something, right? It's like we give value to something, to a relationship or an object or something material when we have that feeling of I've lost it or I'm about to lose it, right? That's when you appreciate things, when you go through certain situations. sometimes extreme ones, whether at work or in your personal life. You also learn through that contrast, you get to know your own personal power to be able to overcome certain kinds of situations. So, what the energy is telling us is that you're at a moment of great opportunity of growth and expansion in your life. But you're going to have to leave behind those fears, those insecurities about loss, to start recognizing your worth, to start claiming your place, right? Not being afraid to move forward, not being afraid of change, knowing how to let go in order to receive, to break your own mental limits and to open yourself up to a much bigger and more expansive mindset, to leave behind what no longer resonates with you, those structures, to leave the past behind, right? What you are closing during this time is very powerful. Closing a cycle that may have already become too small for you. Now, what's coming is something much bigger. That's why moving up a level is sometimes complex, it's challenging, but it's really very promising at times during this transition. It's true that you might feel some doubt or confusion about the future, but take it as part of the process, right? Part of the transition, of this transition where I free myself, I break out of the limits I was in and I go and aim for something bigger. I connect with this queenly energy, with this energy of power, authority, wisdom, and I leave something small behind, right? Or something that made me smaller, something that's related to your past, right? Or not giving yourself the place you deserve, not recognizing your value and worth, right? It's like there's a bit of grieving over that feeling of insecurity or over issues related to self-worth, okay? It's like now you stand up for yourself. You know the place you occupy, you know what you deserve, and you go for it. Okay. So the contrast you'll see in the coming days is very strong. If you need moments to process what you're starting to dissolve, what you're starting to let go of, do it. Remember that everything you're closing and everything you're letting go of during this time is opening doors for you to something much bigger and greater. Let's see what we have, Capri. In the oracle, let's move on to your advice or message. Capri, you have the number 1010, 1010. It tells you. Keep your thoughts positive and be patient as everything is working out for your well being. Trust that your angels, are working behind the scenes to help us. And the decree for you is I am patient. Dear Capricorn, this is what we have seen for all of you. Have a beautiful day and see you here next time.